Sports Source. This segment brought to you by the law offices of Ogle, Elrod, and Burrill. No one wants to need legal help. It's scary, it's frustrating, it's frightening. But if you call the law offices of Ogle, Elrod, and Burrill, with one call, you put one of Knoxville's top teams of attorneys on your side. Give them a call, Ogle, Elrod, and Burrill. And then today on Overtime, coming up, as I said, this is a little off. VFL's Will, Jacob, Sterling, and David will answer your questions. Daniel Hood wasn't able to be here today, although he's gone ahead, and we'll post that later today. Follow me on Twitter. I'll tell you when it's up at sportsource.tv. We'll answer more of your Twitter questions. But with that, we go over to Chuck and Sterling. And I forgot my transition there, but this is Chuck versus Pearl. Very quickly, guys. Is Tennessee going to win, and by how much, if so?
I think this is going to be a tougher game than a lot of Tennessee fans thought going in. Arkansas looked very good against Texas A&M at times yesterday, especially offensively. You may need a comeback to get this one. I've got the Vols by 4.
Okay, Tennessee by 4. Sterling Hinton.
Well, you know, this is how I see it. It's going to be VFL weekend. A lot of good energy putting behind our players on the field right now. Whole bunch of ex-players coming to town. I have Arkansas 17, the Volunteers 28, baby.
All right, so that's how I see it. We got 4 and 11 to choose from, and here are our standings so far. Bob and Chuck. Bob has agreed with Chuck all 3 times, 3-0. I think the formula is go the opposite of Sterling. Sterling, we're going to drag you back toward reality. All right, Jacob, Jimmy, John. That's me. Jacob, Jimmy, John. Never mind. Yeah, we got Will Overstreet, and then down at the bottom, David, Daniel, and Sterling. No wins yet. All right. One thing I want to point out is I can't get that thing to fall in that slot. There we go. The stars there, the asterisks, those are for the guys that actually picked Florida last week. So Chuck had picked them closest. You picked Tennessee by 3. 4 of us, Will, Jimmy, Bob, and myself, took Florida. All right. Now, moving forward, who agrees with Sterling and 4, or Chuck at 4 and Sterling with 11?
I got Chuck at 4.
Chuck at 4.
That's a new TV show. Chuck at 4.
You're playing with fire. Wow. He's giving some love, baby. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Jimmy.
Chuck, because he says 4, right? Well, that's a golf term. He's a golfer. Chuck.
There we go. That's a better tease than last week's toss.
Why I didn't choose Tennessee last week? Until Sterling can win one, I'm going with Chuck.
David?
I'm going to go with Chuck as well.
Yeah.
I'm here for you, Sterling.
I'm sorry, Sterling. I'm going to go 4 as well. I think this one's going to be right down to the wire, I'm afraid. This is one he absolutely has to have, and we will be breaking it down for you next week right here on the Sports Source. Check us out this afternoon on sportsource.tv, and we'll bring you your overtime segment. Thanks for making us the #1 sports show in Knoxville week in, week out, year in, year out. We appreciate you very much. See you next week.
The Sports Source is brought to you by Fast Frame with Heather Whiteside Art now available.